Can I be honest with you? Most new dementia caregivers are thinking this every day, although they're not saying it out loud. I'm confused, I'm overwhelmed, I'm terrified that I'm going to mess this all up. If this is your experience, then today's video is for you. This is the video to watch as a new caregiver so that you don't lose another night of sleep. Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist, dementia care specialist, and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Let's jump on in. Before we jump into the 4 essentials to know as a new dementia caregiver, I want to first educate you on an important shift that occurs with a dementia-affected brain. When dementia progresses, your loved one's frontal lobe is going to be impacted. The frontal part of the brain is responsible for judgment, for reasoning, for impulse control, thinking through behaviors before acting on them. It's also responsible for problem solving difficult challenges as well as simple challenges that comes up throughout the day. So when your loved one's frontal lobe is impacted, you are going to notice they struggle to think through consequences. They struggle to follow multi-step instructions. They struggle to stay calm when stressed or surprised. And they struggle to self-regulate their emotions. All of that is now unreliable for your loved one with dementia. And we have a saying in the field that your loved one is not trying to give you a hard time, they are having a hard time. Think of it like this, care partners. Imagine waking up one day with your vision completely fogged. You have no idea why that happened, and everything that you try to do doesn't fix the issue. You may feel disoriented. You can't see very well. You may feel confused. You may feel angry and maybe even scared. What is life going to be like if you have to live life through a world that's all fogged up? Well, that's what it feels like for a loved one with dementia. They are navigating the world without being able to see and process their experiences clearly. Your job as their care partner is not to try to fix this problem because you can't. Your job is going to be to stand alongside them and guide them through this experience as best as you can. And today's video is going to give you the 4 essentials that you need to know as a new caregiver to help with that support and guidance. Stop fixing, aka correcting, and start supporting the changing brain. Most new caregivers don't realize this, but correcting a person with dementia often leads to making the situation worse. We are so used to correcting each other in our day-to-day, we may say something like, I've already told you that, if someone asks you the same question. Or you may say, remember, we're doing XYZ. Or, no, that's not what happened. That's not how the story goes. Remember, it went like this. We are just so used to engaging with each other in this way. However, because of the dementia changes related to the brain, care partner, that response, that type of correcting can now lead to anxiety or pressure or frustration in a person with dementia. For example, let's take the, remember, I just told you. If your person with dementia truly doesn't remember, and oftentimes they don't, then that's going to create a sense of panic inside of them. Oh my God, I didn't remember that. Did they say that? Right? It creates a sense of panic, care partner. And if it doesn't create panic, if you have a person with dementia who's a little bit more defensive, it may create anger inside of them. You didn't tell me that. This is the first time you're telling me that. What are you talking about? And then that's going to lead to escalation in an argument because you're going to say, no, it's not. I told you that just 5 minutes ago. And then here's the vicious cycle. Okay, care partner. So as a new caregiver, it's important to recognize that correcting your loved one with dementia oftentimes just make the situation worse. Replace corrections with short answers. So instead of saying, I literally just told you that, just give them the short answer again, care partner. You can also replace the, no, that's not what happened, with a gentler tone. Or instead of giving your loved one a lot of instructions, remember we talked about this, you have to do this and this and this. Instead of giving multi-step instructions, give 1-step instructions at a time. And finally, care partner, offer emotional reassurance. If your person with dementia is struggling with memory issues or executive functioning issues, it is terrifying for them to go through this new change. And they are struggling to even be able to verbalize how scary it is for them. So feel free to give emotional reassurances. The way that can look is, instead of, "Mom, you already asked me to do that," try, "Yep, you're okay. I took care of it." A word on emotional reassurance, care partner. Emotional reassurance is going to be so important for your person with dementia. In addition to all of the brain changes that's occurring, they are also struggling with a lot of anxiety and fear by virtue of having dementia. The fear is coming from the confusion, the disorientation, and also the brain structures that are now changing. But there's also physiological structures that are changing in their body as well, that's leading your loved one to feel more anxious and more nervous because they have dementia. And this is something that's not always talked about. A lot of people talk about the memory changes, the executive functioning changes. Your loved one can't do a step 1, step 2, step 3, multi-step processes. A lot of people pay attention to that. Not many people talk about the emotional changes that also come along with dementia. Because of those emotional changes, you will need to be able to offer emotional reassurance to your loved one. So for example, when mom comes over and says, "Did you call the doctor?" and this is the 5th time that she's asking you that, care partner, it will be so easy for you to say, "You've already asked me that," right? But she needs the emotional reassurance. She's not only coming to you because she forgot it, she's also coming to you because in forgetting, her body gets super anxious and nervous. In summary, stop correcting and quizzing. "Hey mom, do you remember?" Instead, switch to reassurance and one-step directives. And remember, care partner, emotional safety over factual accuracy. No need to correct. Create a simple, repeatable 30-day rhythm or routine. One of the most common mistakes that I see new caregivers make because they've just received the diagnosis and things feel a little chaotic is to do too many things at once. They think that they have to get all of the legal things done at once, all of the doctor's appointments done at once, all of the things done at once. It overloads them and it also overloads their person with dementia. Let's just slow it down, care partner. You will absolutely get all of those things done, but let's be planful about this. For right now, focus on creating a 30-day system for your loved one with dementia. Let's start to bring some predictability to them because that's how their brain flourishes. Here's an example of a simple routine, care partner. Of course, this is going to fluctuate as a new doctor's appointment comes on the schedule. And I do recommend having those appointments on the earlier side of the day when your loved one's cognitive function is a little bit more sprightly than in the later part of the day, in the late afternoons. Here's the routine. Mornings can look like a consistent wake time. Of course, bathroom, breakfast, and then one simple activity. If you need to have a doctor's appointment, this is the time to do it, care partner. If there are no appointments on the schedule, then this activity can be music. If your loved one's further along in the dementia process, it could be folding towels, sorting coins, bird feeding, etc. Midday could look like lunch, rest time. Their brain is going to need that rest if it was a busy activity in the morning. That rest time can look like a quiet room, a quiet area for them, dimmed lights, music, light activity, or a short walk. An evening simple rhythm can look like early dinner, again, soft lighting, a calming wind down routine, and then bedtime. I know that this feels very structured, care partners, and of course you're going to build in some flexibility in there. However, it is important for you to recognize that predictability helps a dementia affected brain feel safe. And once their brain feels safe, you are going to have a calmer household. Trust me on that. In summary, care partner, predictability lowers dementia-related behaviors. Stability over perfection. Build a morning through evening rhythm, as I refer to it, or routine. If this guidance is helpful, care partners, if you're starting to understand your loved one with dementia just a little bit better, then please go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. I am happy to keep supporting and educating you, as well as educating other care partners just like you in this new phase of life. Let's move on to the next step. As a new care partner, it's also going to be important to prioritize safety over projects. The first 30 days should be focused on safety, care partners, and that could look like reducing medical risks, reducing physical risks, and reducing financial risks. So for example, with medical risks, does your loved one now need help with taking their medications? With physical risks, does your loved one now need to have the car keys taken away? Does your loved one now need to have safety guards in the bathroom? With regard to financial risk, do you now need to be placed on their bank account so that they are not sending their money off to a love interest in a different country? So those are some of the major risk areas, care partners, that you will need to prioritize during this 30 days. Which one of those areas is most important for you to intervene with right now, as opposed to trying to do a massive overhaul of everything all at once? Pick one area to focus on at a time, care partner. I call this the minimum viable caregiving plan. It helps you to protect your energy so that you can protect them. In summary, care partners, look out for safety first. Are there medication changes that you need to implement? Do you have to protect and safeguard against wandering or eloping, your loved ones trying to run out of the house? Do you have to safeguard the home against falls, etc.? These are the things to start paying attention to. One safety fix per week or one safety fix every couple of weeks, care partners. Do not try to overwhelm yourself all at once. In fact, you can ask your provider for an OT evaluation. An occupational therapist can come into the home and quote unquote safety fix the house. Third, delay non-urgent tasks. You are already so taxed as a care partner. You are going to have to put non-urgent tasks to the side as much as you can. This segues well into our final essential as a new caregiver. Build your micro team, even if it's just one person. Here's the truth that most seasoned caregivers know and a lot of new caregivers don't. You cannot do this all on your own, care partner. You are going to need help. Maybe that's a sibling, maybe that's a cousin, maybe that's another family member, a neighbor, a clergy member, a therapist, maybe us in the Confident Caregiver Academy. But you are going to need support and help through this journey. And for those of you who are uncomfortable with asking for help, maybe you've asked for help before and people have burned you and let you down, and now you struggle to ask for help, you can start asking for help with micro help moments, as I refer to them. That could look like, hey, can you come over and sit with him for 40 minutes while I run an errand? Hey, can you check in on him every 2 to 3 days? That will help me a lot so I'm not the only one calling all the time. Hey, can you help me make a phone call? I've called 3 of their doctors already today and I have a work project that I have to finish. Small help prevents big burnout. In summary, care partners, caregiving is too big for one nervous system. You will burn out if you try to do this on your own. Identify 1 to 2 reliable humans to help you. And ask for micro help in the beginning, not giant commitments, but micro assistance to warm you up to getting used to asking people for help. And finally, care partner, I want to leave you with a bit of a mindset reframe. Please remember that you are supporting a person whose brain is changing. That is going to take training and patience, not perfection. Give yourself grace, and please give them grace also. I know how heavy the beginning of caregiving can feel, and the fact that you're here on YouTube trying to learn to do it better evidences the care that you have for your person with dementia. If you are needing more support and guidance along the way, then feel free to book a call with me. I'm happy to share with you more about the Academy and all the ways that I can support you on this journey. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.